Ladies and gentlemen, the So What Morning Show is back in the building. Oh, with another heater. Today's topic is going to be bananas. Y'all have no idea what type of chicanery merchants are in the building right now. I'm selling it all today. It's going to be nuts. But you already know, as is commonplace, I gotta sell stuff. I gotta promote stuff. I gotta promote people and what they do. Weed Juice! Get there right now. The brother just left, dropped off a bunch of free juices for the studio, for the people who are in here. Weedjuice.com. Please continue to support my homeboy, Hassan Kareem McCullough. He is the designer of this. The dude is not only a juice manufacturer. What is this? Kiwi? Miss Kiwi. Yes, there's kiwi, guava, and pear. He is a professional trainer, personal trainer. He's Olympic level athlete, and he trains people, and then he puts them on these juice packages. There's energy, there's detox, there's metabolism. He'll make it specific to you. If you go to his website and type in Zoe Williams as the code or Zoe What as the code, you get 5% off or 10% off or something like that. Go support my brother.
What was his name?
His name is Hassan. And the name of his company is Weed Juice. Like we French. Oui, that guy. Right? Weed Juice, right? Weedjuice.com. Please support the brother. Listen, Dr. Mark Goulston brought in 2 artists. And I want to promote what they're doing too. There's a chocolate gorgeosity up in this month. Lord. Yes. She was created by the Easter Bunny, because she came in here on Chocolate Beautifera. Tell us who you are right now.
Hey there, I'm Jamila Nuruddin.
Jamila Nuruddin.
Right.
Speak on it.
I'll speak on it now. I am the artistic director of Imagine Us Free. It's Imagine Us Productions. We're a production company, and we're also a social enterprise, bringing youth workshops with art integration to basically help our youth understand not only the economic situation that they're in, but how art can help convey their message, and basically make the world a better place. That's
Right. And how do they get with you? How do they support you? How do they buy what you're selling? How do they support what you're selling? Donate to what you're selling? Whatever it is, how do they do it?
How do they do it? Well, people can go to imagineusfree.com, and you'll see there all of our, click on our education tab, you'll see all of our youth workshops. We have youth workshops where kids are writing, directing, acting in their own films that they're creating on topics that affect them. We have a brand new social enterprise workshop, which I don't know. I feel like y'all know what social enterprises are, but it's the new way that people are going to be changing the world, basically using our dollars to actually make change.
So, is there an email? Is there a point of purchase? What is it? What's the email?
The email, you can email info@imagineusfree.com. We're looking for all kinds of volunteers. If you're looking to invest, put some kids from underprivileged areas into these workshops, it's beautiful.
Right. Excellent. And then sitting next to her, something called Mind Music?
Mind Music.
Who in the hell are you, and what is this?
That is Mind Music, and that's music spelled with a Z, so that's MINDMUZIC.com is the website. And what it is we do educational music. So I teach what kids learn in school through music. So from kindergarten to 12th grade. So we do all subjects, all grades. And
this is crazy. Mind Music Black History Month CD. Mind Music Diabetes Awareness Campaign.
All right.
What in the Feast of Samhain is going on? You mean to tell me you're using an entertainment medium to educate?
Oh my God, yeah.
Wow, as KRS-One said in his in an old album, edutainment?
Yeah.
Come on, we need more of this. How do they support you, man? Where do they find you?
How they support me? Well, what I have is we're working on an educational music tour right now. We're going to be going to all the schools from September until November, and we're going to 51 cities, and we're going to be launching our Indiegogo campaign for that, raising the money, about $150,000. But to support us, you can go to mindmusic.com, or you can download the Black History Month album, as you have right there.
Just right.
You can go to iTunes.com and
all this. He gave me 37 albums.
37 albums. This is the first TV interview, and there's 37 albums, and I'm already overrated.
Wow, I love it, I love it, I love it. Also, the little homie in the building right now.
What's going on now?
You know what I'm saying? Scotty.
I feel like my snare need to be up a little bit. I'm just joking, man. What's going on?
Scotty tripping in the building.
What's going on, Zoe?
Man, I know you got music too, man. Share your music, man.
Yeah, man, if you get a chance, I got records. It's called ScottyTrippin.com is the website. We got a radio show, Generation U Radio, you know. But I'm here for you, man. It's about you today, bro.
Oh, man.
What's going on? T
This
Radio
dude
V.
he used to produce my show when I was at
That's
the
true.
Foxhole.
That's
Uh-oh.
true. Hit
Right?
him with a round of applause. We don't have a round of
What
applause,
happened?
but hit him with a
What
round of
happened?
applause. You know what I'm saying?
I'll clap myself.
Yeah.
You feel me? And
Shout out
this
to the
dude,
Foxhole.
man, he got his own show. He building his audience. He's building his voice, his brand. I said, come on, man.
Nice.
You know you can come over here and represent from
Yeah.
what I'm doing.
Shout out to my team, too. I got a lot of people that really rock with me, man. I appreciate y'all.
He got 37 guests.
It's about that.
All 37 guest
Yeah.
hosts.
Yeah.
They all on the show. I love it.
We
though.
use walkie-talkies. You know what I'm saying?
So, with that said, I still got a few things to promote. I want you to go to elephant.com, right? Elephant, these guys right here, high-level gear, tailored, stitched, handmade out of New York. If you like Polo, Ralph Lauren, this is a black-owned company out of New York. Tailors, they're incredible. Their stuff is dope. It's like Americana, J. Crew, Ralph Lauren, you know, Banana Republic style, and it's brothers. And they designed it all. I mean, their stuff is fly. And yeah, it's a little pricey, but it's handmade. And it's at the quality or above Ralph Lauren Polo. I mean, they sent me a bunch of button-ups and it's icy. This shit is icy. Please support the brothers. Elephant. Also go to Arise Hospitality. Arise Hospitality, these brothers are the black staples. Right? If you need anything, whether it's office materials, printers, staplers, furniture, whatever, black company, Arise Hospitality. You get the same, because they have the same distributor as, you know, Staples.
Oh, okay.
So,
Nice.
and they're actually cheaper than Staples because, you know, Staples has that markup because of the name, the brand.
Yo.
But they get their stuff from the same place, same distributor. Brothers.
What's that website again?
AriseHospitality.com.
I'm gonna have to check that out, man.
Also, you got to support my homegirl, Siobhan Stoddard. Pull up Siobhan's website really quickly. Siobhan is a two-time Olympian.
Wow.
Sister Girl, we got to support the sisters. Sister Girl is a two-time Olympian. She runs the 400 meters for the Jamaican team.
All right.
Right? She's located here in Southern California. But what people don't know is, in order for these athletes to get there, they got to raise their own money. So she's got a song called Hot Girl. She can sing to, I mean, the girl is beautiful.
She run the 400 for Jamaica,
She run the 400 for Jamaica. The girl
and
is,
she made her own money herself.
man, I'm trying to tell you.
right.
So y'all go to
That's it.
SiobhanStoddard.com and please purchase her single, because this is what's going to get her to the Olympics. So as a people, we need to support that movement, yeah?
Yes.
Also, oh, by the way, pull up this little placard real quick, because a lot of people have been hitting me. First off, I want to thank the 319 people who donated to my Indiegogo campaign. A lot of people have been hitting me because they're saying, man, you know, we didn't get a chance to donate. So this is how you continue to support this relationship dismount tour, because what I'm going to do for my breakup book, I've already decided on what city I'm going to go to. We wanted to do 7 cities, but we didn't hit our goal. So the one city that I'm going to go to right off the bat is Houston. So all the people in Houston, get ready. I'm going to come tear your face off
H-Town.
with this relationship information. But anybody who wants to support, go to paypal.com and send donations directly to me at zowhatorders@gmail.com in order to continue to support that movement.
Man, I remember we did a couple. What was the show we did in Inglewood at the 313?
Oh, that was crazy,
That was
right? It
crazy.
was like 100 people,
That was
150
crazy.
people that came out to that. That was bananas. Did I get weed juice? I got weed juice. Who else? Easy Boy Web. Jesus. Gotta support them. Easy Boy Web, black-owned company. They built my website. Pull up my website so they can see. Based out of Atlanta. Any website or e-commerce stuff you need, go to these brothers. They will do you right. They will support you. Oh, my CD too. The God Class Volume 1. It's a lecture on God. It's a deep lecture, and it's got music and all type of stuff. Go to cdbaby.com and get the God Class Volume 1. I think I've supported everything. Do we have Veronica Conway online? Let's get Veronica online. She's got stuff to sell. Speak on it, Veronica.
Hey. Yeah, baby, blackmastery.com. I just surveyed my audience about the kind of results they're getting from Black Mastery, and it's crazy. People they've stopped procrastinating. They are meeting their goals. One woman said that she had taken a break from her therapist and came back after doing Black Mastery, and the woman was like, "You have changed so much. What happened to you?" And that was all Black Mastery. So, Black Mastery is the only hypnosis program that reprograms negative black conditioning and thinking, but it also just helps you reach your goals kind of effortlessly.
You mean like Willie Lynch, light skin, dark skin? Yeah.
Also, if you're an entrepreneur, man, we've been doing these boot camps, and you get Black Mastery when you do our boot camps. People are making paper in weeks. In my business boot camps, we make $5 and $10s and $20,000 in like weeks. So if you want to do that, you can hit me up at veronicaconway.com, and let's talk about it, because we're pushing people way over the limit in terms of what they think they can do in business, and we're putting them into revenue real fast.
Awesome, awesome. Listen, we got to take a quick break, but when I come back, I promise you the most ear-bending, disturbing topics ever. It's what the So What Morning Show does. Get to your phone lines, 855-878-4652. That's the number to dial. Also, follow me on Twitter, @ZoeWilliams. I'm retweeting and I'm telling you, I'm going to read your responses on the air. It's going to be a crazy topic. We'll be back in 2.2. Holla!
And date and marry women who are not, at least in our mind, a 5. So this is your no-go zone. You don't go here. We just rule this out. Life is better this way. That's the way it is. All right. Above a 5 and to about an 8, and below the crazy line, this is your fun zone. You can hang out here and meet these girls and spend time with them. That's your fun zone. But keep in mind, when you're in the fun zone, you want to move out of the fun zone to a more permanent location. Okay? So that's the fun zone. Above a 5, hot. Below an 8, hot. And below the crazy line. This means these are, most of the time, not crazy. Okay? Above the danger zone, above the crazy line, we have the danger zone. This is your redheads, your strippers, anyone named Tiffany. This is hairdressers. This is where your car gets keyed. You get a bunny in the pot. Your tires get slashed, and you wind up in jail. Now that we have some of the chart filled in, we got a couple more pieces to put in. But at this point, understand something. This is not a static environment. This is a situation where you have got to use this matrix over time to develop some reliable data. It's like a dope chart, okay? Because at any moment in time, any woman that you have previously located on this chart can vanish from that location and appear anywhere else on the chart. So what you have to do is, over time, collect some data. And once you have a cluster of data points, you can begin to consider that reliable. Now, moving on, you have this zone here. This is below the crazy line, above an 8 hot, but still, about a 7 crazy. This is your date zone. You can stay in the date zone indefinitely. These are women that you introduce to your friends and your family. They're good looking, and they're reasonably not crazy most of the time. Okay? So you can stay here indefinitely. Now, above an 8 hot and between about a 7 and a 5 crazy, this is your wife zone. Okay? When you meet this girl, you should consider a long-term relationship. This zone is not scaled to size. This is a representation and not an actual. This is not a pie chart showing you how many of these people are out there. This is simply a representation of what you're after. You want to be 5 to 7 crazy, above an 8 hot. That's your wife's zone. Okay. Now, below a 5 crazy and above an 8 hot, this is your unicorn zone. These things don't exist. If you find a unicorn, please capture it safely, keep it alive. We'd like to study it.
Why is a white guy like me co-hosting a black radio show? I think toxic relationships cause you to take poorer care of yourself. That if you can recognize danger, if you can pause, if you can take some breaths, refocus, and engage, you might be able to dodge a bullet that you're going to send or coming towards you. One of the things that men don't get is that often women need to vent first to clear their mind. So, I recently wrote a article called Outing My Inner Racist, and it's up at Psychology Today. And what I talked about is that I worked on the O.J. Simpson criminal trial, and I was against O.J. I was with the prosecution. And after the verdict came in, what happened is just like a lot of the white people who didn't like the not guilty verdict, I went to some of my black friends and I said, this is awful. I feel like life is stacked against me. I feel like justice is stacked against me. I said, how long has it been that way for you? I figured you might be feeling that. And they said, that's all I felt my whole life. And I said to this friend of mine, Otis, I said, so why didn't you tell me it was so bad? And he looked right through me. He looked right through me and he said, because you didn't want to know. And that really hit me about my inner racist. And so ever since then, I've just kind of wanted to correct that. And so what that article was about was how it's really stacked against especially black males, and that one of the problems is that a lot of mainly white males, what they do is project onto blacks, well, if I was you, I'd be angry at me. If I was you, putting you down and not giving you the same opportunities, I'd be angry at me. And so there's a problem, because if I'm convinced you're angry at me, and I don't want to believe I'm angry at you, I'm just saying you're angry at me, I'm going to look for the least evidence to make that true. And then as soon as you raise your voice, as soon as you do whatever, I say, see, I told you so. See, you are angry at me. See, I'm not imagining it. And so until whites are able to own that this goes on, that we project something on blacks that they're not feeling, because a lot of the black men I know, they say down deep, we're more afraid of whites than we are angry at them. We don't show fear to anyone, but we're more afraid of whites because it's stacked against us. We know that in their mind, they're looking at us in a certain way, and then we take the bait, and if we get frustrated, they get, see, told you were angry. So until that changes, I think it's going to be a long haul.
Where is your article?
It was Chris was showing it. It was on Psychology Today. So yeah, and there's a link to a prior video, but we're getting feedback here. So you can just scan through it. But if you look up Outing My Inner Racist and my last name, Goulston, Goulston, you'll find it. And I have a big mailing list, and it's interesting. I've gotten a number of unsubscribers from people who are connected with law enforcement. So, wow. And law enforcement training. So, yeah, that's okay. They can go wherever they need to go. Wow. But I want to switch to the topic here, and I'm gonna share. And I was looking up racism and just the racist jokes that continue, and this one is half funny, but it's not. But it leads into today's topic. And the joke was about asking a woman a black woman who had 12 children, what are your children's name? She said, well, they're all named Leroy. And
I can sense it right now. This is going to go bad. But go ahead.
No. I'm going to say. No. No. And then segue back and blast it and get me tarred and feathered. We can have a little reverse here.
Tarred and feathered. Wow.
A little
Keep going.
A little reverse KKK. I'm willing to take it.
Jeez.
No. So what happens is the person says, "Well, how do you tell them apart?" And this is what we're talking about today. And she said, "Well, when I'm angry at them, I call them by their last names."
Wow.
Damn.
And it was, I mean, it's an ugly thing, but part of what we're talking about today's topic about sex, you are kind of who you sleep with, and there's a real problem with it. And the last thing I'm going to say about the sex thing is, when I used to work in some state psychiatric hospitals, one of the toughest things that we had to do is whenever some of these schizophrenics were masturbating or something, and in the main public room, we had to send them back to their rooms. And I remember one of the psychiatrists said to me, "It is really a shame that we do that." Because they're out of touch with reality, and when they're masturbating, that's the only time they're in touch with reality, and we punish them. Because what's happening is they're getting turned on by other people, otherwise they're hallucinating, and then just when they're connecting to other people, now they're connecting sexually, we put them in their room because they're disturbing the peace. And I just felt, what an awful thing that as soon as they're actually feeling back in the world and they respond to it through sexuality, go, put them in their room and tie them down. So that may not be an alley-oop. That might be get this guy out of here. But
that was a full court bounce pass. Somebody's going to steal that.
No.
But let's set up the topic now. Dr. G tried. Today, man, this is a tough topic. The Semen Cemetery.
What?
Show me the vag facts. What's the true worth / impact of vagina on relationships? The reason why I wanted to do this show, because there is some information out, some articles out that are warning you to be careful, with who you sleep with. Studies show women carry the DNA of past sexual partners. And that DNA tends to influence that woman's offspring. I'm hoping this
Do tell.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's all a lie, right? April 11th, 2015, scientists have discovered that a sizable minority of women have Y chromosome G sequences in their blood. This is interesting because, as you may know, Y chromosomes are the chromosomes that belong to men. So, ladies, what are they doing there? And where did they come from? Yikes. You mean to tell me a woman has the semen of another dude in her, and it influences the children that she has yet to have? Semen cemetery. Questions! Is there such a thing as energy intercourse? If so, how is it discharged?
I'm sorry, you're going to have to break down what the hell energy.
Well, we're going to get to that.
Yeah, I don't know.
We got somebody on the line. Veronica Conway is, she's cold-blooded. Is there such a thing as energy intercourse? If so, how is it discharged? And is this discharge the real breakup? Right? Because a lot of people get divorced. A lot of people have breakups, but they're not really over it. Is that because there's this energetic tie? Right? Quantum physics calls it quantum entanglement. Is there like a entanglement with this person? The Christians call it soul ties. The New Agers call it etheric cords. What is that? Let's go deeper. How does an angry vagina lead to becoming an angry woman? Right? Does this buildup of sex energy drive the woman crazy? And is this not a definition, or at least a reason, for why crazy pussy seems to be the best cooter there is out there? Right? Because all of this undischarged energy is still in her. She has all of this sexual experience, and she's good at sex, but she's not good at discharging that sexual energy. I mean, this is a tough question. Is sex spiritual, evil, or both? In what ways can sex be the stairway to heaven or the escalator to hell? We're going to talk about it. 4652. You're listening to the Zo What Morning Show on T Radio V. That's Radio and TV. You've already met my crew. They're in the building right now. Geoff Brown is a little sick. He said he's going to try to make it. Hopefully he can get in here. We've got some security just in case he does bring his sick ass in here. But let's go into this topic. Dr. G and the homie Scotty Trippin in the building.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, my goodness. And Veronica Conway on the line. Let's talk about it. Veronica, you're a woman. Enlighten us men.
Yes, I am.
Yes, I am. I've been that way for years. Enlighten us on how sex energy can drive a woman insane.
Yeah, well, we talked about this before, you know, as sexual energy is a transference from the male to the female, because she takes in everything that he holds in his awareness and his consciousness. So I've talked about this before, that if you want to check, if a man wants to check his consciousness, 72 hours after he makes love to a woman or has sex with a woman, check her mood. If she's, you know, strung out, bitter, tripping, bitch energy, all that stuff is a reflection of his consciousness. In other words, he has impregnated her with his mindset, with his consciousness. If she's cool and serene and loving and available, then he has seeded her with that too. So because she is a repository for all of the consciousness that exists that a man is carrying and is giving birth to that, then by definition, you know, women are running around as a reflection of the men that they engage with. Garbage in, garbage out. Insane in, insane out.
I got a question for you, Veronica. Now maybe maybe it's just the white community, but tell me if it's in the black community. But what's it like, at least in the white community, a lot of guys will do anything, say anything, promise anything to get that sex, and then as soon as they've shot their load, they roll off and couldn't be interested. And so what's it like to falsely lead someone up to with all these amazing hopes? And a lot of men will use things that women start to bank on, such as the future. I can't believe what this is like. I've met someone, boy, I could spend my life with you. And what's happening is there's a part of a lot of women that want to start banking on that, building that. Oh, we could have a future. Because I think the energy is not so much the DNA that's left in women. I think what it is it's having to let go of the future that's not going to happen.
But what if you can't let go of the future because the DNA, which is fucking human software, is still in your mind? What if that DNA is interfacing with that old belief?
What if they used a condom? I'm just saying, I'm sorry.
That's a good, yeah.
That's a good point.
The thing is,
go on, Veronica.
to speak to Dr. G's question, if he's feeding her with a lie, then think of what that does to her awareness and her consciousness, right? So in a way, women have our work to do in terms of setting standards and allowing our intuition to choose our men for us. But the work that men have to do really is about the lie. Because and you think about why he lies. He lies because he doesn't feel like he can just ask for the sex directly. He lies because he feels like he has to make promises. He lies because he has to accommodate the socialization of the dominant and the larger culture, right? So he lies because he isn't able to fully express his male alphaness.
Wow.
And be really unapologetic about it.
Wow.
And then he feeds her with that lie.
So listen.
See,
wait, Veronica.
Standing in his full sexuality, he wouldn't have to lie.
Well,
Veronica, wait. Let's hold on to this because we got to take a quick break and then we're going to come back. But my question is, should you marry a woman who hasn't had a sexual energetic cleansing? Like, what if you're marrying her and she's got semen ghosts all up there and it's affecting her, right? I'm just saying. And does it go vice versa? We got to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll deal with the rest of this. The Semen Cemetery Show. Show me the vag facts.
Is it worth it to save her? I'm sorry, I decided.
And again, for most of us, we leave out the spiritual component. She talked about the social component. She talked about the psychological component, the physical component. But what about the spiritual component? A lot of people don't realize, man. Yeah, you need a condom on your dick.
What a condom.
But
I'm just saying.
Is there an energy condom? Because you can't untangle that energy when you fucking somebody. It's an energy thing. I've sent women away having sex with, I'll be having sex thinking, get your ass out my life. And sure enough, they bounce. I don't want to be fucking you. I'm just fucking you right now.
It's about my dick made this choice.
Do you understand? Like, energy, some real shit. Is there an energy condom? How do we cleanse the energy? What about that one person you just got a hankering for, you can't get over it? Right? They've been gone. How do you deal with that? I think it's important that we cover both the STD side, the STIs, you know, sexually transmitted infections, which is different than sexually transmitted disease. All infections can be cured.
It's emotional.
That's a amoxicillin.
Oh, okay.
The infections,
I can't spell that shit.
amoxicillin. You good. You know, 5 days, amoxicillin, you straight. Right? Disease, you got it forever. Herpes, HIV, disease.
Oh, wait a minute now.
Gonorrhea in them is stupid, right? That's like
They all kick it together and shit.
Oh,
right.
my God.
Black children's names. Gonorrhea in them.
Is that the way they teach it in medical school? All right, we got gonorrhea in them over there.
But I'm
Don't
saying,
point at me over here.
I'm just saying, gonorrhea in them, STIs, they can be cleared up, right? STIs, sexually transmitted infection, can be cleared up. We're talking about the semen cemetery. Be careful who you sleep with. Study shows that women carry the DNA of ex-sexual partners. Most women feel like, once I break up with a motherfucker, I don't ever want to look back. Well, if you've swallowed some semen, a lot of women are swallowing nowadays. I remember when it was taboo. Put your thing in my mouth. Yes, it's fine.
Oh, yeah, act like they never did it before.
Right, go with it. Go with it.
I don't normally do this. Go. Right. This is my first time. Go. I don't do this, my baby daddy. You
Right. You taste like coconut water. Yes, sweetie. Yes, indeed.
Man,
Take
whatever you
it.
say, man. Whatever you say.
Take it.
You need more riboflavin in your diet. Go.
I'm just saying, how do you cut that kind of cord? Now, this is what's ill, and I'm going to throw it to Veronica. This is what's really ill. Today's show is a part 1, right? All men discussing this shit. Tonight, part 2 will be on the Dash Radio platform with all women.
Oh, shit.
Because we want to see how they deal with it.
Yeah, I want to know what they
Right?
think.
Like, because to me, I'm connecting insanity with high sexual proficiency.
Oh, yeah.
Right? That's what I'm doing.
Please tell me.
Because you know, crazy cooter is what?
At that best. The
Why?
absolute best.
What's a cooter? I'm sorry, man. I'm just playing.
Go ahead, Veronica. Speak on it.
So one of the reasons that, you know, you call it crazy cooter, one of the reasons energetically that men are attracted to crazy cooter and the cooter feels so great is because a lot of times, see, the crazy cooter has a lot of charge on it. And what I mean by that is women that are carrying around a lot of hot, unprocessed emotions like fear and anger and sadness. See, every time a man puts his penis into a woman, one of the things that he experiences is charge. And if she's carrying around a lot of emotions that are unresolved, it's hot and it's got a lot of kinetic energy in it. Now, if he's interacting with her consciously, then he'll get aroused by that charge, but he'll also use the firepower in his penis to begin to discharge all of that. In other words, if he lets her cry and rage and experience all of that, there with him penetrating her, it will begin to dismantle in her, and it will turn into love and receptivity and grace. It'll turn into all these things. So the crazy cooter's got a lot of charge on it, and that's what men are compelled by.
Why do women lie about their dick counts? Why is it that there's an equation? So if you say, how many dicks have you had? And they go, oh, 5. And then the equation is add 10. Like, why do they lie?
Why is there an unknown integer?
An unknown dick integer.
Yes, the number she gives you is basically a multiplier. It's not really.
Right. Divide that by 3.
I'm just saying, why? We know that there's a stigma here in America. Double standard.
Because dicks count different.
Dicks count different.
Dicks count different.
Speak on it.
Okay. I've said this over and over.
Dicks count different.
This is no mystery to any fans of the show. I tried to count the women that I slept with. Not relationships, women. I lost count at 200. Do you know what that means? I talked over 200 women out their drawers. Now.
You lost count at 200?
I lost count at 200. Women don't want to follow me into that murky dick count water because what that basically says about women is if a woman says that, she's saying over 200 men have talked me out of my drawers. It's a whole different.
She's a hoe.
A different sentence. Well, I have a very.
But you know how America looks at it. She's a hoe.
No. Here's the definition of a hoe, in my opinion.
Not even America. The world and most of the world is like, you's a hoe. You had 200 dicks?
200.
No,
that's a lot.
You's a hoe.
Any woman.
That's the Semen cemetery right there.
Oh my God. Any woman who has slept with on purpose, more than one dude in an immediate family, like both brothers, a brother and a cousin, and you know good and hell well they related.
You mean like Jermaine Jackson's baby mama?
Yeah, Jermaine
and Randy?
Yeah. Jermandy.
Jermandy.
Or more than 2 dudes in a group. 2 Qs. The dude in the break room and your supervisor on purpose. Or more men than her age in the same given square mile radius of her home. I don't know anybody who can argue with those 3. I've never had somebody push back on that.
Wow. Does the sexual energies, like Geoff just said, he lost count at 200.
I lost count. Something over 200.
So does the sexual energy drive men crazy too, Veronica?
Men aren't taking it in the same way. In other words, men aren't being deposited into. I mean, unless
Yeah.
Let's deposit into you, baby.
Women are
unless you taking it in the cornhole.
I got a little moist package for you, honey.
Go on, Veronica.
Go ahead, Veronica.
Somebody say pause. I'm just saying. Go.
Go ahead, Veronica. Finish.
She's in the monkey house.
So it's not the same because I mean, one of the things that I think we have to really begin to think about is how men and women become clear enough about their lane and their role. Right? When women become really clear that they are the receptors and they start acting like it, then the game changes. Absolutely. When men become fully aware that they are the depositors and that they are the transmitters of consciousness, then they can shift the game. But I think part of the confusion comes from a lack of clarity about the real role and the real lane that it's given to us by natural law, and we ignore it at our peril.
And she said earlier that the bitch in a man can transform a good woman into a bitch 72 hours after sex.
Wow.
This conscious transfer.
I agree.
And I'm just asking, for the woman's sake, for her sanity, is there an energy condom she can use? We'll be back in 2.2 seconds. The So What Morning Show. Semen Cemetery. Jesus.
Then the alignment that you accomplish dominates any other relationship experience that you might have. Let's say that you're on a high-flying disc and that you are having a conversation with someone that you care about, not on a high-flying disc. Well, you have some options about whether to stay there and allow them the potential of joining you, or whether to join them where they are and have the potential of neither one of you having a very good experience. Those are your options. And as you more and more frequently choose that, maintaining your high frequency, so that if they're going to play with you, they're going to join you on that high-flying disc, now you have this wonderful basis for this ongoing relationship that is life-giving to both of you. And it's not going to be without contrast, because there's never an experience that does not allow more expansion. But it's really a lovely thing when two are tending to their individual frequencies with their individual non-physical co-creative partners, and then collectively coming together and co-creating with another. From an energetic standpoint, the relationship that this consciousness being physically conceived, as you're describing it, the relationship between that consciousness and their non-physical counterpart dominates everything. And the relationship between those humans who allow their entrance into physical experience is more irrelevant than any of you want to believe.
Let me make love to you, the OJs. Now, name an equivalent. This nigga with the sleepy eye, what the boy name is with the birthday record?
Fuck you.
Right.
No kissing and hugging, girl. You got
Bitch, you, the record is basically saying, bitch, you not worth shit. You are a cum receptacle.
And
now,
they are answering to it.
And they're responding to it.
It's not the women's fault. This shit that's happening ain't
We
the women's
created
fault.
this.
But they got all the tools to fix it.
No,
They
listen.
got all the tools to
We
fix
have
all
to
this shit.
we have to rewrite the rules of femininity, just like
And
we have
then
to rewrite the rules of
protested.
masculinity.
We're feminists. We're bitches. When we protest.
Be that.
You see the
So?
backlash old girl got years ago when she was trying to smash the what was it, the Eazy-E CDs.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Rest in
Dr.
peace.
King got
She's
spit
dead
on
now,
and
but-
shot. That's not the point. Okay?
What's the point?
The point is there is a very hard road that y'all need to walk. That dude.
Y'all, why can't
Why does
why
it stop?
can't we need you guys in the struggle?
She does.
Did you ask me? Did you want me to answer that question?
Answer it.
Because straight men aren't fucking each other. We're fucking y'all. We do what you let us do. We do what you let
It's
us do.
true. If you motherfuckers said tomorrow, niggas
Who sag don't get no pussy.
who sag don't get no pussy. Niggas, we need all of you motherfuckers in zoot suits. Big ass
Zoot suits would be flying off the shelves.
We need all of you niggas.
Or the newsmen, Channel 2 News. Niggas sitting there in a zoot suit and a big fucking hat. Why?
And they-
It's just hard because a lot of these young girls, and I see it. I mean, a lot of these young girls, they don't know better. They think sagging pants are cool.
But they don't know
where
better
it-
because they mamas taught them. Wow.
Yeah, Daddy didn't teach him that shit.
Yikes. The Zoe What Morning Show back in the building. Today's topic, if you didn't know, the Semen Cemetery. This is an energy world.
Or the vagina, where a
So-
young man's dreams go to die.
So let's go. Wow. Wow. So let's go deeper into this, because a lot of people, you know, when you be talking about, like, when we bring up concepts like this, oh, that shit ain't real. These niggas, what the fuck kind of conversation is that?
Bullshit.
Right? Energy and all of this and that. Okay.
Talk more about the white man.
Just because, you know, just because your pastor doesn't understand quantum physics doesn't mean that shit don't exist. Right?
Ain't this about the best?
Right? So,
devil.
That's the devil. The devil.
The devil in the Hubble telescope.
The devil live in the Hubble telescope.
Ain't nothing but the devil.
This
I
motherfucker said the
rebuke
devil
your
live in
science
the,
in the name of Jesus.
the devil lives in the Hubble telescope.
I'm coming against the astrophysics demon in the name of Jesus.
Oh my God. So,
Idiot.
scientifically speaking, there's something called the first law of thermodynamics. The first law of thermodynamics is energy can never be destroyed. It can only change forms. It can only be transformed. Now, using that same principle, you do some research on atoms. Now, back in, say, the Newtonian physics era, which was based off of
Sir Isaac.
Sir Isaac Newton, right? Oh, who claimed to have discovered gravity. Okay, sure. When you go back to the Newtonian model is the mechanistic model, which came from the Ptolemaic model. Ptolemy was circles, cycles, and then Newton came with the grand clock kind of model, saying it's mechanic, God is on the outside of the workings of physics, and at that time, the indestructible portion of matter was an atom. So he was saying that's as far as we can go down, that's as far as we can see. The atom is the primary building block of all matter, right? And it's indestructible. Now, fast forward to today, 2015, we know that 99.999999999% of the atom is empty space. So technically, you should be able to pass right through another human being because it's all space and energy. That's all it is energy. So when you fucking somebody, it's two energetic beings creating a field, and you guys are the energy is fucking. So now, how does that put casual sex into context? Now you got to recontextualize casual sex, right?
What if I was tired? I don't got no energy right now.
Oh, well, then you know what? You break it. That. God rest his soul. My grandfather's best advice to me, son, never ever make love to a woman when you are tired, hungry, or disinterested. Always make love like it is your last time, because one of these times it's gonna be, and nobody wants to leave the earth on a lazy fuck.
But this is what I learned. Hey, this is what I learned.
Your granddaddy seemed pretty smart, man.
Fucking genius.
And Veronica, Veronica, this is some new shit. Talk to us. You can break up with a woman while fucking her, energetically.
Bitch, shit.
I'm saying, like, when you fuck with presence, right? Talk to me about fucking with presence. Like, whatever is present in your mind, is this not a creative aspect, a building aspect that is happening in the sex act? Speak on it.
Yeah, I mean, we have to understand that, when you look back at the mystery schools, like the Egyptian mystery schools, see, a lot of that information about how things function here on the planet has been withheld from the masses. And that's by design. So if you talk to people that have a lot of money and have had exposure to a lot of esoteric knowledge, understand, and no one believes, because I've seen it, that they are keeping this knowledge and they are using it actively. Sex magic, all kinds of other things. They just haven't exposed you to it because they understand that this is one of the most powerful creative forces in the world, and it's how shit gets done.
Can we say this? Can I ask you this?
If you're using sex
Veronica,
in a dysfunctional, low vibration way,
Veronica,
continue to perpetuate that. Yes.
Let me ask you this. Now, a lot of people don't want to talk about this because he didn't get near the publicity that Bill Cosby got. The white dad who played on Seventh Heaven, who was on some pedophilia shit.
Right.
He looked like it too.
And he came out and acknowledged, I fuck little peoples, right? Now,
I fuck a
let me just say, there's some demonic shit, and when I say demonic, I hate using terms like demonic because then the religious people be like, see? No, I mean evil. I mean bad. I mean malevolent, right? There's some malevolent shit that sex energy can be used for too. This is where this ritual shit be coming from, right?
Yep.
So a lot of times sex magic gets given a bad rap because of the dude who really kind of made it famous, which is Aleister Crowley, and he was a Satanist. He was
God damn it, no, he wasn't
using sex magic for really darker purposes.
No, he wasn't.
There's a whole body of work out there that uses it for higher purposes. Does that make sense?
Yes. Geoff is writing jokes and sending me jokes, and I don't want to read his fucking joke on the air. He's a fucking dickhead.
Wow.
Again, the jury is out on Aleister Crowley being a Satanist.
Yeah.
The motherfucker who was a Satanist was Anton LaVey.
Yeah.
Anton LaVey was given his first charter in California by then Governor Ronald Reagan in the 60s. I think it was 66. Woo. And it was Reagan who allowed Anton LaVey and the Devil Bible to be on military bases in California. Okay? Please understand what you know as Satanism. Do your fucking research. What you know as Satanism is really the Egyptian mystery school. I told you that it took everything that used to be yours and made it evil. Right. So when people say he's a Satanist, if you look at what the fuck he's doing, he's dressing up as Amun-Ra. That's your shit.
Right.
He's doing these magic rituals, which are Egyptian. Right? So if we talk about Egypt, the original Kemet, all those rituals were yours.
And they're neutral. They're not.
And then if you really go deep into it, Geb, earth, Shu, air, Tefnut. These are the elements.
Earth, wind, and fire.
Exactly. These are the elements, right? And then people took them to be real people or real deities. They don't understand what they're talking about, and then they label it as Satanist or devil worship. Oh, Geoff, really?
Earth, wind, and fire.
You having a moment?
I like Earth, Wind, and Fire. I was like,
This nigga sing. Go for a second, too.
Better listen to the music.
you have to get a vocal coach, though. It's some bullshit. I'm sorry.
So let's bring it back again. We have to be, like, if you've never read anything, like just look at the parallel real quick. I've already said, in religion, they've made questioning and intellect evil. Right? Lucifer, light bearer. First off, let's distinguish Lucifer from Satan. Lucifer is before the fall. His brother is Michael and Gabriel and Uriel and Raphael. Those are his brothers. They're the angels of light, right? He's a cherubim, they're seraphim, right? That's all in the book. That's in the book. So stop looking at Lucifer as evil, because Lucifer wasn't evil. When he falls, in the Quran, they call him Iblis. The root word is balsa, meaning to rebel. What is rebellion but questioning? Questioning is intellect. Why we got to do that? What that mean? What we supposed to do?
What is him?
What is this? That is intellect. That is the basics of intellect, is to question and find out more. Now, in the Quran, in the Torah, in the Zubur, in the Injil, the Injil is the revelation, the Zubur is the Psalms, right? In all of these books, the angels don't have free will. They just submit. And they're either positive or negative. Seraphim are the good angels. Cherubim, bad angels. I'm getting into all of this because religion has mind-fucked us to the point where if something is labeled evil under the context of westernized understanding, then we don't read it. I'm not reading that shit. In the Church of Satan, if you read the fucking devil book, you know what the devil book says?
Read everything.
Stupidity is a sin here. You can't even be a devil worshiper unless you renounce stupidity. So intellect is what they're about. Now, you can't be a Christian and say that kid is bright. That's the light bearer. Right? When you graduate from school, alumni, alumnus, illuminated. Right? Buddha, the illuminated one. Jesus, the morning star. Lucifer, the morning star. Intellect is associated with light. That is the real rebellion. They've conditioned and socialized you to reject knowledge. Then the Bible will tell you, Hosea 4, 4:6, my people die for a lack of knowledge.
I rebuke you,
Why?
green-eyed
Because
devil.
you've put down knowledge and picked up faith and didn't even understand what the word faith meant. And then in your prayers with Amen, which is an Egyptian god. We'll be back. We'll be back for more. Shit. Y'all want to know about this energy shit? We can get in it.
Preach, man.
I'll be back in 2.2.
Dope. I can't wait till the old heads get.
Stop jocking yourself.
Geoff Brown, Freeze Love, Zoe Williams, James Broadway, the old heads. We coming at you with it. Watch.
Oh my God, you trying to create an old
Yes.
Yeah, an old
old hip hop rap dude. What? And everybody is decidedly old. Like fuck the young. Like okay. Anyway, I'm so glad Zoe had this topic today. One of the things that really drew me to it was the concept that every man a woman sleeps with, who deposits his sperm in her, has a sperm record. She has a sperm. All them sperm didn't die. Some of their genetic message is swimming around in you somewhere. Okay? Which means if you really want to get algebraic about this shit, you sisters need to stop bragging about your children with multi-talents if you have screwed multi-niggas. Because there's a good chance. I just can't. Just can't right now. My baby can sing, dance, and got a wicked jump shot. Well, there's a reason for that. Is because you fuck Shannon Brown, Bobby Brown, and Chris Brown.
Oh, shit.
That's why.
Oh, Lord.
That is some mindless shit I came up. I was still high. I was high on Gorilla Glue when you called this morning. That is a weed strain. And I'm just saying this, ladies. Whenever you ask why you can't fuck like dudes, you have automatically plummeted the vagina bar, okay? Because all you need is a pulse, okay? Women need a reason, men need a place. That's all we need. We don't need, oh, shout out to the 420s today. It is 420 day. I'm done.
That was Geoff Brown's intellectual rant. But I want to go back to Veronica really quickly because is there a way, because let's go back historically speaking, there was polyandrous societies, right? Mm-hmm. Before there was a matriarchy, there was a before there was a patriarchy, there was a matriarchy, right? So is there a spiritual science that allows women to take in multiple dicks without the negative side effects of insanity? Because it appears that today's woman just takes in multiple dicks and multiple energies and can't really get rid of that energy. You understand what I'm saying? Can't really cleanse it.
Big dick making you crazy.
Sing it.
All this dick making you crazy.
So the most powerful tool a woman has at her disposal is her discernment. And, choosing men not on the basis of what they can do for you or give you, but choosing them on the basis of their energy and how they actually feel is one of the most important things that a woman can actually do. See, if a woman takes in too many disparate energies, it gives birth to conflict in her. So if she's choosing a crazy man who's jealous, and then another man who's very beta, and another man who's very, then she takes in all of that at once. So her biggest weapon in this whole thing is her discernment. But most women aren't choosing wisely because they're not actually giving themselves a chance to feel into what the man is bringing to the table in his communication, in his energetic
Veronica.
presence.
Oh my God, I love Veronica.
Veronica, hold on one second. Say more about the process of feeling into.
Wow.
That's big. And I think sisters who are listening to this show need a blueprint for understanding what you mean by feeling into.
Girl, you lucky I'm married. I swear to God, I'll hunt you down and make you untie my spiritual knots. Oh, my Lord, I love Veronica Conway. Love Veronica Conway. Go ahead, girl.
Untie my knots, girl.
I'll take that as the highest compliment, Jeff.
Would you? Would you? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, because when you talk about vibes, right, or vibration. So when you come into contact with a man, the charmer has spoken of this previously. It's like, does what comes out of his mouth, can you register it as true, as the truth? Like, can you experience it as the truth? Your whole body will respond to that. You'll get aroused. You'll feel connected. You'll feel magnetized. But what often happens is we override our intuition in that regard, and what we go for is some okie doke that is geared to fulfill some fantasy that we have about the way shit is.
Go more. Say more about this poison cooter. Speak on it.
So if we are indulging in the fantasy because we are fearful and we would prefer to honor our need for security rather than the uncertainty of truth, because truth carries with it some hot fucking fire. And we may not get to be in control of the truth. If a man is spitting truth, we're automatically out of control because we have to surrender to that shit. Okay? We've got to surrender to it. But if instead you're responding and reacting to some fantasy about some man that's going to take care of you or whatever, then you'll override your intuition about his real nature and go for the okie doke, and then you get what you get. You get what you choose.
Veronica, let me ask you this. What about the woman who's had multiple alpha male god dick energy? What does she turn into? That's Wonder Hoe. Wonder Hoe.
I mean,
That's Ma'am Goody.
And make no mistake. I mean, yeah. Then you get a whole nother creature. You get a whole nother creature because she can't help but give voice to what he has impregnated her with. So if she is consorting with God men, then she is a walking embodiment of that. You couldn't even rip it out of her if you tried, because she actually is an embodiment of that. And you can feel it on her. You can hear it in her. I mean, that's what it is. We just need more of our men to really do the deeper work of claiming their God men, stop accommodating all this bullshit out here, and bring to women that which they're capable of.
So let me ask this, and this is for everybody sitting here right now. What does the woman who's had a whole bunch of, say I'm just fucking because I'm trying to find my daddy in a man, I got daddy issues, I got, I've been hurt, I've been traumatized, all of this shit. What does that kind of crazy look like when you first meet her, Geoff? Like, what are the telltale signs like, bitch, you crazy? What are those signs?
For me, when your demeanor says shy, but your clothing says, I'm gonna fuck everybody in this room. When those don't match, usually, when your shit don't match, and it's generally that way. The other way around is far less often. I have rarely ran into a sister with a fade in a sundress and flats. That's out of her mind and hoish. It doesn't happen very often. It doesn't happen very. It might be.
I don't get it.
I ain't seen it.
I don't get it. Scotty?
Shit. I think that's a tough question, man. If they have a lot of excuses, if every time you try to talk to them and try to meet them somewhere and she got an excuse for why she can't be there, that to me is a little bit like suspect. Like, she might be.
What about insecurity?
hoish,
Yeah, that's a good one. What about insecurity? What about jealousy? What about going through your shit?
Yeah.
You understand?
I don't put up with that.
Breaking into your email
You
accounts.
4 minutes late, so you fucking my sister.
Yeah.
Right. What about all that? Is that a manifestation of too much low male consciousness in the fuck area?
I think that might.
Dr. G, what it look like to you? Dr. G, have you seen
You been out there with these bitches, Dr. G. What's
Yeah,
going
you
on?
seen these hoes out here in these streets. Speak on it, Doctor. Look at G's face.
Acting like a G.
Speak
For
on
real
these
with that.
bitches, Dr.
And
G.
wait a minute. Before I go to that, Dr. G, you wrong. Black men ain't scared of y'all. Black men are afraid of what will happen to them after kicking y'all ass.
Yeah.
After doing what we
scared
really
of
want to do. But
Co-sign,
finish
co-sign.
that.
Why do I do this show?
Yeah, exactly. You know we're going to kick your ass every week, goddammit.
Okay. We're talking crazy. I'm a shrink. I got to bring in some psychology here. So
Thanks.
Then we'll
Help
go
us.
back to the energy. So there's a term in psychology called borderline personality. And borderline personalities are the most difficult, chaotic, and 90%, talking about energy, 90% of their energy is focused on not being controlled and not being abandoned. It's 90% of their energy.
Wow.
So there's nothing left to relate to people. And so what's happening is it creates an incredible tension. And one of the reasons that borderline personalities that can be in men and women, why the sex is so great, because the tension between I don't want to be controlled and I don't want to be abandoned is so huge that they just want that discharge. But that's one of the reasons why men will go in there and have sex with them and then get the hell out of Dodge because you feel that tension, but you also feel the craziness between it. But can you imagine that?
Damn.
I mean, it's their whole personality.
So the semen cemetery syndrome can be likened to BPD, borderline personality disorder. Wow.
No, I would say that they, through their life, they've had those feelings of being controlled and abandoned, and yet they sort of need something, but they trust no one.
I'm having a revelation right now.
Imagine what goes on in your mind if you know you 100% need someone for your sanity, but you trust no one.
That is
Damn.
That is why I can have sex so much longer with crazy women. It is because my sperm are afraid to come out.
Okay, Jeff. God damn you, Jeff. That's where she gets the crazy shit from. Right from there.
I need a drink.
No, this is crazy. Listen, we got to take a break, and when we come back, more of the Semen Cemetery Show. This shit is fucking bananas right now. We'll be back at 2.2.
What the woman told me was that she was sleeping with a man, and the man, they had sex, and unprotected sex, and then she asked the man, she said, can we go get tested for STDs together? Because the man had said, when she asked him, well, so, have you been tested and all that? He said, yeah, I'm fine, and et cetera, et cetera. And she said as soon as she asked the man to go with her to the clinic, he stopped calling her. He stopped speaking to her. He wasn't returning her calls. He didn't want anything to do with her because she had chosen to empower herself by asking him to do something that most women don't ask him to do. And so, I talked to the woman for a while, and I think she was beating up on herself about it because she was, like a lot of black women, very devout. She also said that she'd been a virgin up until this point. Unbelievably, I think she was in her 30s, which that's another issue. But I know that I told her don't beat up on yourself, but this is the point I was getting at. It's the STD spread. It's not saying that when you say black women are infected, you're not saying that black women are promiscuous. What you're saying is that sometimes you can be a person who is not promiscuous, but still catch STDs by having sex with a promiscuous person.
There's a really crazy thing that happens. Sometimes you have sex and you feel like you have to go pee, but you're like, wait a second, I just peed. Why do I feel like I have to go pee again? Is that normal? Do I have a UTI? What's going on? Thing is, it's perfectly normal. When you are having sexual intercourse, a lot of the clitoris is stimulated, a lot of the muscles around it are stimulated, and so is the urethra. So that can give you the sensation of feeling like you have to pee, so you don't have to worry about it. Now, actually, you should go pee after sex because it helps clear your system of any bacteria and helps prevent UTIs.
So my question is we talked about how peeing makes you make better decisions. So is that urge to go during sex also going to make you make better decisions?
Gosh, I don't want to be thinking about decisions during sex, right? It's like the less you think, you're like, oh, let me talk about it. No. I know we're completely kidding, but yeah, I wonder, right? We do know that one of the things that's most important for climax is to be relaxed and be in the moment and be present and mindful. So maybe don't start making decisions about things while you're having sex. It's not nice to your partner either if you're thinking about, how you're going to pay your college tuition during that time period. So let's not.
Ladies and gentlemen, topic is crazy. And the reason why I'm doing this topic is because for far too long, most of us have taken sex for granted. In other words, not really understanding what it is and the purpose of it. Do you remember that television show back in the 80s, The Greatest American Superhero?
Believe it or not, I I'm walking on air. I never thought I could feel so free. Flying away on a wing of a prayer.
Who could it be? Yes.
Hit him with a round of applause. We don't have a thank. I'll hit him with a round of applause.
Robert
Yes,
Colt,
yeah.
William Catt.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the basis or the premise of the show was school teacher gets abducted by aliens. They chose him to be a superhero, and they gave him like a box with a suit in it that could do a whole bunch of shit, like a superhero uniform.
Come on, where's your suit?
The problem is the motherfucker lost the instructions
Right.
to the suit. So he put the suit on but didn't know how to use it. So the motherfucker flying all crooked and, and at progressing subsequent episodes, he learns different things about the suit. Oh, I can be invisible. Oh, I can see through walls. But he never really gets the flying straight right. So the point that I'm making by using that analogy is we walk into sex and relationships in the same way. It's like somebody dropped off a sex energy relationship suit and we lost the instruction to it. Now, the instructions are spirit, self-based, internal. And when we don't know who we are and we connect with somebody else's energy, remember the first law of thermodynamics. Energy can never be destroyed, it can only change form, right? So if you're unaware of the process by which you're interfacing with another person, you're going to have some conflict, you're going to have some shit on you. Right? Some residue.
Some residue.
It's some residue gonna build up on you. On both you. On both you too. Right? Speak to that, Veronica.
Yeah, it is so true. I mean, if you think about sexuality as the most potent force on earth, it is the thing that gets every single thing born. That everything that gets given birth to happens through the creative act of sexuality. So it's the most powerful and potent form of energy and creativity that is given to man. And it is especially true for melanated people because we tend to carry a quantum amount more energy than our European counterparts. So we're like babies with flamethrowers. So if we're not wielding it intentionally and purposely, then then it ends up being used for more negative forces, right? If we're not using it intentionally. So we are like babies with flamethrowers. We better figure out the power that exists between our legs and in our heart and between our ears and figure out how to use that shit consciously.
Wow. A baby with a flamethrower. That is such a heavy analogy. Veronica, have you? I'm going to ask you a very personal question here. Have you ever been sexually involved with a man? And I'm just spitballing that you're heterosexual. If you go both ways, that's a whole nother.
That's a whole nother bowl of grapes.
Wonderful grapes.
Another show.
Yes.
Another show.
Have you ever been in sexual congress with a man and been like instantly aware that his energy is off, and it came during the act that you went, you know what, he's putting some crazy in me with his crazy stick? Has that ever?
Yeah.
He putting some crazy in me with his crazy stick.
I will say this. How do I say it? So I have, and at the time I was younger, and I was using my will to override my intuition. Mm-hmm. Right?
Woo!
The thing that happens when a woman begins to interact with a man that's of a very high vibration, she actually can't tolerate lower vibrational interactions because she becomes very aware of the gap. But if she hasn't had that experience, then she may recognize that even in the act of lovemaking and then override it to either get approval or to be accommodating or whatever her story is. So, yeah, I've definitely done that. And then when I realized, I've had to go back to people and say, you know what, I think that was crazy when I was interacting with you, but I'm not crazy no more.
Let me ask you this. This is an interesting question. because it just came in from Twitter, and I think we should contextualize it in the form of a question. Do you think high-end, spiritually conscious, right, spiritually aware sex, I mean, the creme de la creme, I mean, we came together, we saw the face of Jesus,
Yeah.
all that high-level, powerful sex, do you think that's the kind of sex that can keep someone? Because the question, a lot of women think they can fuck you into staying with them. You understand what I'm saying? Isn't that a kind of insanity to think you can fuck a motherfucker into staying with you?
It works, just not long.
Does it? I'm just saying, what is the validity behind sexing someone into monogamy or loyalty?
Ex-wife number one.
Wow, speak on it.
Listen, it depends on what you're putting on them. I swear, because you put some really powerful. They don't want to go anywhere, and in fact, men that encounter women that are vibrating like that try to get their best to get the woman on lockdown. See, women got it backwards. When women are vibrating at that level, men do everything in their power to lock it down because they rarely encounter it. So a woman doesn't have to try or manipulate or do any of that bullshit to keep a man. If she is carrying that level of frequency and consciousness, he will be so magnetized, he'll try to figure out a way to get that on the regular. I'm just saying.
I think what you're telling me is society has put average bitches on a conveyor belt and delivered them to all of us, devoid of the intuitive process.
Oh, yeah, drones.
These are like social robots, right? Fembots, as the $6 Million Man once called them. Fembots, right? Just female robots programmed by society to seek or pursue the social template of what is normal or what is considered successful in relationships, while at the same time ignoring their intuitive spiritual process that would possibly make a man, like you, because I don't know what the fuck kind of pussy Erykah Badu got.
Oh my God.
But I'm gonna tell you,
that shit working now. That's for sure.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
I don't want none of that.
No, let me just say, motherfuckers be leaving her too.
Yourself,
Oh man.
But I think motherfuckers be leaving her because they weak.
Dude, okay.
I don't know.
Erykah Badu had you wearing circus clothes, walking a giraffe down the street on a leash.
Right. If you ever see me riding a giraffe
Yeah.
down La Brea, you know I done had some Erykah
That's
Badu
good
pussy.
shit, though. It probably worth it though.
And it show, I'm gonna tell you what, that one where she walking through Daily Plaza, and she get naked. Bonjour, dun 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 action.
Is Veronica still on?
No. We'll get her back. Get her back, Chris. I mean, that's crazy, man. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, ask Andre 3000.
Or we could speak to it in the reverse. These guys left her because she was crazy.
Or Common.
Right?
Yeah.
Whether it's Common or whoever, right? What about Halle Berry? The rumor on Halle Berry is she crazier than cat shit.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, yeah, you can't be that.
Can't keep a man, just real insecure and wild and, I don't know.
Gotta be.
Is Veronica on?
We got
And I got a question again. This, if Corey was here, he'd see he'd throw me against the wall. Oh yeah, here he goes again.
I don't trust white people.
Here you go with them lousy ass questions.
You don't never answer no goddamn question.
Okay. Veronica, and anybody here, I want you to weigh in. What does it mean to be present versus merely intense? Because
God damn.
because I think what we're talking about.
He lost me. I don't even know what he talking
No,
about.
I know exactly what the fuck he's saying.
Wow. I don't know what the fuck this nigga talking about.
But weigh in on that, and I want to hear Jeff and Zoe seem like they forget.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
Dr. G, do you mean in the act of sex? Do you mean that?
Well, we're talking about energy, and I think what we're saying is when the energy is off, it seems like each person is trying to do the other person, but they're not into the other person or in the other person. So I think what we're talking about is how can you be present with another person and they with you, and what gets in the way of being present, because you can be AWOL and be inside someone.
Correct.
So,
Damn.
So talk about
question.
that. Yeah.
That's a brilliant question. And so, first of all, a lot of times, and I'm gonna take it into sex, but it's actually sex is really an imprint for everything else that we do. In other words, the way that a man relates to a woman sexually is how he approaches life.
No, you're right, because a lot of men aren't present in life either.
As goes his relationship to life. So if he, a lot of what gets in the way is like acrobatics and hijinks. Right? It's like we have to perform and we have to tear it up and we got to tear it down and all this stuff, right? Well, so all of that has to do with a fantasy about how you're supposed to perform and has very little to do with the actual presence and connection that you're experiencing with her. So if a man brings his awareness, let's say, to the head of his penis, or brings his awareness to the tips of his fingers and actually puts his attention there, then when he's engaging, he's got far more capacity to impact her powerfully and deeply energetically if he's actually listening with these parts of his body to her than if he's in acrobatics. If he's in acrobatics, right? He's just it's more, and when he's present with her, then he can actually hear the fear, the pain, the beauty. He can actually experience those things, but he can't if he's off in some story and in some acrobats that accompany the story.
So this is good. Go ahead, Doc.
There's an exercise I give people who say, they feel like they're human doings, they're not human beings, and they want to become present. And the exercise is draw a circle, and in that circle, think of all the parts of your personality that are trying to prove, hide, show, or please. Prove, hide, show, or please. And put those all in the circle, and then eliminate all the parts of you that are trying to prove, show, hide, or please, and what's left is you. Right. And if you can eliminate the prove, show, hide, please parts of your personality, what you may discover is a calling. So what's happened to me is I'm a little bit older than people, but I've eliminated that because it was a lot older. But it was exhausting, so I've eliminated those, and what happened to me is I found a calling in life, and I have this mission called healing the world one conversation at a time. So that just calls out to me, and so I'm just trying to be kind of a guardian for that, a guardian of these healing conversations that are possible between people. But I couldn't see it for many years because I was too busy either proving, showing, hiding, or pleasing someone.
Wow. And we haven't even, and that shit is so powerful. And then if you lock that into the generational curse that you're born into in terms of your family, we got to take a quick break.
And then I got to take that to the Bible.
But that's what, when I talk about the generational curse, everything we're talking about right now is internal. This is the internal process. But then the external process is who the fuck you raised by and who you're modeling.
Right.
Ugh. That on top of that creates a sexual stigma too.
Gotta be aware of that.
Like so in society, through religion, through the pursuit of social normality, based off of the template, right? There's this sexual arrested development. And you don't know anything about the spiritual components of what sex can bring to you. Oh man, this shit is crazy. We'll be back at 2.2. So what is crazy today?
6 months ago, I went off birth control because I had to switch to a new one, but there was this period in which I just wasn't taking it. And I was calm and collected and in control, and at the time I thought like, oh, I'm older and just more mature now. No, because when I got on my new birth control, I found myself feeling all the feelings. I realized that it followed along the timeline of when I was on and off BCP. It makes sense, right? Because birth control tricks your body into thinking that it's pregnant so it won't get pregnant. So you're basically walking around like an eternally pregnant woman. What do you mean it's never coming out? What? I mean, what? Where's the pizza? It is such a relief to know that it's not me being emotionally immature. It is literally all the hormones that I am ingesting. It helps me keep perspective when birth control tells me, oh my God, this is what just made you so sad or just like angry. I just feel all the feelings and you're just like, no, I'm not gonna feel that way unless you want me to.
Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
So if you are fighting an excessive amount of emotional imbalance, look at your life and figure that shit out. If you're a guy, it's probably not birth control, but it could be your diet, a lack of exercise, even a mood disorder.
Like, you know, the days of the, you know, the hippie culture, free and easy and everything, where people aren't thinking too much through the consequences. I know the normal consequences was STDs and pregnancy, but you'd never think of you would be sharing that person's, having that person's DNA pass through the blood-brain barrier and actually affect the way you think. So it could tell you that, you know, if you're actually dealing with an evil person, you're going to be sharing that person's DNA forever. So, I don't know, man. It kind of like puts a dampener on the casual sex type thing, because, and it also explains, you know, sometimes, you know, from my observation, from my experience, it seems that women that have been hooking up a lot over their period of life, they seem to be almost like they're possessed, and they seem to have a lot of problems. I mean, it's like they have nothing to really anchor them in some way, and it's almost like, you know, live for today and the hell with it. It's almost like they're dominated by another force, and it may be the DNA from all these prior partners. Who the hell knows, man?
So what the guy is talking about is something called telegony, right? When a woman breaks up with a man, she usually wants every remnant of him removed from her life. A new study suggests that, try as she might, there may be one last piece of him that she's stuck with for good. His DNA. A study from Australia has managed to prove that fly offspring are able to resemble mother's previous sexual partner even when conceived with the father's sperm. The idea of telegony, or previous mates influencing a woman's offspring, has been around for centuries. It was first proposed by the Greek philosopher Aristotle and was accepted as science until the early 1900s, when it was disproved and replaced by the more modern genetic theory. According to the study, and I mean, there's a press release for it here. There's a damn press release for this. That semen lives on. What, ooh, wow. Because that says a lot about even swallowing. I know girls who would prefer to swallow your semen than let you bust in her. That's their way of birth control. Here, give me that. For sure. How many gimme that's have you had this week? What kind of man milker are you? I'm saying that's gotta lead to something. A man milker. God. I'm sorry. That's gotta mean something, right? What does that say for women's desire for sexual expression? I fuck who I want to fuck. I do what I want to do. I don't have to answer, blah, 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 blah. What does that say for that?
Well, I think they should be. I think, ladies, fuck whoever you like. Fuck whoever you like. Just don't expect alpha males to take your vagina more seriously than you do. You know, you want me to treat it like China when you've been treating it like a paper plate.
Damn.
So you saying we gonna call it how we see it?
I'm gonna
call it how I see it. Yeah.
I ain't saying, you know, do your thing. But when you get serious, if you don't move, you playing any dude that's gonna really be serious with you, like the dude that comes to town that don't know that you done fucked all the hawks. He has no idea. And
that you fucked all the hawks.
All the hawks. I mean, Dominique forward. I'm talking about all the way Dominique Wilkins, all the way to the dude that just joined the team today. You done knocked all them, and now he moved to Atlanta. He meet you.
He don't know nothing.
He don't know nothing. He walking in the club with you, holding you by the hand. Right. That's unfair to him.
Slow kisses in the bag.
All that. Why don't you just move to Miami? Don't fuck the Heat and start over. That's what I'm saying.
Veronica, I have a question. How well, in general, this is all general. None of this shit is absolute. We're not doctors.
No.
Shit, we just want to start the conversation. In general, how well do today's women take care of their cooter? Is there a general
lack of vagina maintenance?
Yeah, like vagina negligence going on. Is there an epidemic of that?
Vaginegligence?
Well, you know what? You go to Jiffy Lube.
And get a tune-up.
Okay. Okay.
You know what?
Turn his mic off. He needs to be censored. Jesus. You're a doctor, not a comedian.
Damn it, Jim, I'm a doctor, not a comic.
Go ahead, Veronica.
That's a fantastic question. I mean, I don't know what other women do per se. I think that I think that we have to look at hygiene, vaginal hygiene, in many ways. I mean, it's not just the physical cleanup, but it's also the energetic cleanup. And I think that very few women have the understanding or the access to how they clean it up energetically, and that's actually one of the most important elements of that.
How you do that?
There's a. Go ahead.
How you do that? How do you expound on how to give yourself a spiritual douche?
So let me just say this and still be loved. You have to find a man that is vibrating at a much higher frequency than any of the previous men that you've been engaged with.
But that's hard.
And
Wait. Let's. Yeah. That's hard, and I'll tell you why. Yes, opposites do attract. However, a higher conscious man typically will not fuck with a lower conscious woman. Typically.
Not seriously, no.
Not seriously, right? He typically won't fuck with her, and then if he does fuck with her, it'll just be for pussy because he'll understand what she is.
So he's just contributing to that loop. He's not trying to debunk it.
Now, what Veronica is saying is by him seeding into her sexually, there will be a transference of his consciousness into her.
Right.
But I've seen some women resist that shit. Just on some old, this is where some conflict comes in, right? Because this is how relationship shit get resolved, through conflict. There has to be conflict. She's going to be like, nigga, who the fuck you think you is? You're going to think she's a peer. You're not his peer. Just your dick and vagina are peers.
Veronica, I want to throw something out there. I think too many women go feel, do, and they don't get to think. They go feel, do, feel, do, feel, do. And too many men go think, do, sex. They don't go think, do, feel. I mean, men don't go to feelings. And I think when you have those different energies, I think if a woman can occasionally think, and I don't mean some intellectual kind of thing that just seems so empty, but if they can just pause and break the cycle of feel, do, feel, do, feel, do, I think they have a better chance of being respected by men, and that will attract men more. Just like I think if a man evolves somewhat, he'll know that there's more to life than just think, do, sex, that they can occasionally...
You know what I think?
They can occasionally feel things and connect with people other than just by sex.
You know what I think, Doc? I think this patriarchal society does not want women to lock into their real power.
That's real.
Because I'm going to tell you right now, I don't see this science of, sperm living in a woman long after the ex. I see that as these bitches are superhuman. Right? We just fucking janitors in this motherfucker.
Oh my God.
Like if she ever, you feel what I'm saying? Like if this woman was ever activated and turned on, like she's like this, she's that big ass computer in Total Recall, or that activator where Arnold Schwarzenegger had to put his hand on that motherfucker, and then that shit turned on and put air. And I think if a woman gets activated, like into her real shit, I think a lot of this shit is designed to keep her ass on lock.
Oh, dude, they're an elevated species. Line up 100 women, just arbitrarily. 78 of them are breathtaking. Line up 100 dudes. We look like a bunch of fucking mutants.
Niggas ain't shit, man.
Shit, man.
I don't want to see 100 dudes right now. If you put 100 dudes in front of me, I'll walk out the room.
Shit, there's 3 too many niggas in here
already.
Listen, we got to go to break. Oh, my God. We'll be back at 2.2. The Zoe What Morning Show is crazy right now. Ladies and gentlemen, today's show has we've had fun. It's been crazy, of course, but we want to entertain, and I know we talk a little reckless or whatever, but the intention behind every show is to spark dialogue and to, have the topics and have the conversations that a lot of people are afraid to have, right? So with that said, Veronica spoke earlier about the intuitive process, right? Intuition, right? Feeling into. There's a book I want you guys to get. Shit, man. Quincy told me to get it a few years ago, Shit, Michael, sing the fucking record, man, and get out of there. Shit. Quincy told me to get this book a few years ago, and it's a very powerful book. It's called Power versus Force, The Hidden Determinants of Human Behavior. And in the book, this dude breaks down a whole spiritual grid that he created on a number system from 0 to 1,000. Now, he was saying at 1,000, beings like Jesus and Buddha were vibrating at the highest level at 1,000. So much energy that their body couldn't even contain all of the energy, right? And so he's basing this off of a system he created. The lowest number is like 50. I think it's grief, or it's something like really low vibratory energy, right? And then it slowly goes up to what is a neutral catch number, which is 200. The vibration of 200. And this is all psychological, spiritual vibration. This is not physical vibration. So at 200, it's neutrality. 100 is the vibration of fear. 150 is the vibration of pride. 500 is the vibration of love. 540 is the vibration of joy, right? And it just keeps getting higher and higher and higher. 400 is the vibration of intelligence. So what he's saying is, when you query the average person based off of this science, which is based on kinesiology, the study of kinesiology, where he can ask certain questions to a person and their body will either get strong or weak. Little kids pushing over big bodybuilders because of a certain phrase that made them instantly stronger. And what he's saying is the truth makes you stronger, lies make you weaker. And then he goes throughout the book and breaks down certain words that make you stronger versus words that make you weaker. Like, for instance, 2 words: challenged, impeded. So the word impeded is the negative version of the word challenged. So when you're challenged, there's an opportunity to rise and get stronger if you accept it. When you're impeded, you've already quit. This is a barrier I can't get around. So he's saying, just by the rituals we're speaking into our lives, you get stronger or weaker based off of that through the study of kinesiology. The book is called Power versus Force. You should get it. It's important to do that because everything about relationship is spiritual. And everything about spirituality is energy. Right? I think it was Deepak Chopra. He did a song many years ago called Everything is Music. Right? He did it with Dave Stewart from the Eurythmics. Right? And in that song, he's just talking about how everything is music because everything is energy. When you look at the word universe, uni, one, verse, song, one song, universe. Wherever there's music, there's rhythm. This is all spirit shit that we knew about when we wrote the Kabbalion, or what they called the Emerald Tablets, right? Now remember, with the Emerald Tablets, written by Thoth, the Egyptian god, where we get our English word thought. Oh, but that's devil worship. Exactly. That's what they want you to think. You created this revolutionary culture, and Egypt ain't the only culture you created. Sumer, that was us, right? The pyramids aren't the only magnificent structures we built. The ziggurats, in Sumer, which is where we get our word summer, ziggurat. All right? All of this is our culture, and what they do is demonize it so you never read about it. Because again, you've been taught anything outside of the Western ideation of your belief system is evil. And until you go outside of that and understand the origins came from you, and there's a concerted effort to keep you away from that, then what else are you going to do with your life? You're going to keep following their narrative, and you're going to be living a life that isn't productive for you. And you're not going to know what this relationship shit is really about. It's really about evolving spiritually, not having 2.5 kids in a house and being able to pay bills and then, you know, have about 35 Christmases and then die. It's not just about that. You got the social shit down. Now you got to delve into the spirit shit that raises you up, right? Most people don't want to do that. With that said, there are some things I have to promote. For everybody who donated to my Indiegogo campaign, I just got to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you all. We didn't hit our mark. We only hit, I think, 17, 18% of what we were trying to get. I'm going to do one city. But, you know, people have been reaching out to me through my email saying, is there a way I can continue to support? Well, there is. If you just go to paypal.com and click send money, you can send donations for that if you want me to come to your city. I want to do Atlanta. I want to do South Carolina. You know, I want to do Chicago, right? I want to do New York, right? If somebody out there wants me to do some, I'll do Philly too, pimp. If somebody wants me to come out there and do this, the Relationship Dismount Book Tour is going to be crazy. We're going to film Houston and let everybody see what that looked like. But it's going to be crazy. So anybody in Houston who want me to come down there, just reach out to me, man, and let me know. Hit me at zowhatorders@gmail.com to support the Relationship Dismount Book Tour. I appreciate everyone who did that. Also, go to CD Baby, get the God Class Volume 1. That's important. And shit, that's pretty much it. Where can they find you, my brother, Scotty Trippin'?
Man, you can find me walking down Crenshaw right now. About 30 minutes, man. I'll be right over there. Nah,
that is not true.
Just playing, man. Check me out on my Twitter, on my IG, or follow my show at Gen U Radio. If you get a chance, check us out on GenerationURadio.com or find me on my website, ScottyTrippin.com. Follow me on IG, Scotty Trippin too. SCOTTIETRIPN, man. I appreciate you having me on the show, man.
Come on, man. Anytime. You know what it is. Dr.
Right.
G?
Yeah, follow me at Mark Goulston, MarkGoulston, MarkGoulston. And this is available. Kindle is pushing this for a discount, so it's $7.96 on Kindle. Just came out 3 weeks ago, and it's the top book on listing in the world, so get it on Kindle.
And sick-ass Geoff Brown.
At GB Funny Style is the Twitter. At GB Funny Style is the Instagram. Get ready for the old heads. We are coming at you hard.
He's lying. And don't forget to tune in to Dash Radio, Hot Button Radio tonight for part 2. The ladies chime in on the Semen Cemetery show. It's crazy. Dash Radio, download the app. Go to Hot Button Radio. We'll be there. T Radio V. We out the building. Holla next week.